It wasn't just a few. They let him have it. You know, they wanted to make sure he was on the ground, I guess.
A chaotic scene that all started just after 4 o'clock this morning ended with officers shooting and killing the man who had broken into and then barricaded himself inside a Pearl City home and then set the house on fire. Police say that Specialized Services Division, or SSD, officers opened fire on the suspect after he picked up a rifle. And sources say it was an HPD sniper's rifle that had been left unattended. We're still waiting for answers from police on why it was left unattended. KITV4's Ali Duclo reports.
There's shots. Oh my God.
Gunshots blaring through a central Oahu neighborhood early Friday morning. Here's the latest on the incident from Honolulu Police Department Chief Joe Logan. Officers were responding to a report of a burglary. A woman told HPD her ex-boyfriend was in the home armed with knives, adding that he threatened to shoot coworkers and police. Officers reported hearing the man yell that he would not go to jail. Despite multiple attempts to get the man out of the house, he refused. Then, at around 6:30, smoke was seen coming out of a window of the house. 10 minutes after, the suspect came outside and ran next door into another home carrying 2 knives. He then ran to an upstairs balcony where officers were posted beforehand and grabbed an unattended rifle. HPD admitting the gun belonged to the department. The man was holding the gun when the officers returned. 3 officers opened fire at the man. We have footage of the damage those gunshots caused to the home. The suspect was reported dead at the scene. We're still waiting on details as to what caused the fire.
We would like to thank the Honolulu Fire Department and the Emergency and Medical Services for their assistance and support.
They kept calling out to him, so-and-so come out, so-and-so come out. And yeah, after that, I heard them, he must have came out shortly after because they said, drop the knife, and then it wasn't just a few. They let him have it. You know, they wanted to make sure he was on the ground, I guess. So.
A burglary and 2 attempted murder cases have been opened after this incident. All 3 officers who opened fire are now on administrative leave, which is standard procedure. Stay with us here on air and online at KITV.com for the very latest. In Pearl City, Ali Duclo, KITV4 Island News.
And sources tell us the man shot and killed was 32-year-old Nathaniel Taualai. He's had a history of domestic violence and TRO violations. Taualai has a criminal rap sheet dating back more than a decade. Another woman 2 years ago also filed a TRO against him. His criminal record shows he was found guilty of violating that TRO in October of 2021. Taualai was also convicted of disorderly conduct, breaking into a car, and criminal trespassing. And 2 TROs filed against Taualai are currently still in effect. The most recent one, which he violated today, was set to expire at the end of October. And the first one, filed by another woman, was granted for 50 years to, quote, prevent domestic abuse or a recurrence of abuse. We spoke with the head of the Domestic Violence Action Center.
When a person violates a restraining order, that's a very important red flag that the system has to respond effectively and quickly to.
Friedman says she encourages domestic violence survivors to take any threat seriously, including minor acts, which can escalate into a bigger act of violence. And you can always contact DVAC for help. This is the second officer-involved shooting on Oahu this year that resulted in a death. The first one happened last month in Mokuleia. Police shot 48-year-old Andy Dombros after they heard a gunshot. The medical examiner later determined that Dombros died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and it was ruled a suicide. Police say Dombros had held another man hostage at the Hawaii Polo Club before he was shot. And the last time officers killed a suspect was back in December in Waikiki. A 48-year-old man had barricaded himself at the Ohia Waikiki for 10 hours. He was leaving the room with his arms up, as you see here, holding a handgun. When officers told him to drop the weapon, the man refused, continued to walk towards police. That's when they opened fire. That was the only deadly officer-involved shooting on Oahu last year. And today's shooting brings back memories of the barricade and fire that happened in Diamond Head back in 2020, but thankfully no officers were hurt or killed today. On January 19, 2020, officers Tiffany Enriquez and Kaulike Kalama responded to a disturbance on Hibiscus Drive. That's when the suspect, Jerry Hannell, opened fire, killing both officers. Before Hannell killed himself, he stabbed and killed his landlord and then set the home on fire. That fire quickly spread to neighboring properties, damaging 7 other homes. Today, we asked Police Chief Logan if lessons learned from the Hibiscus Drive incident were applied to today's case. Here's what he said.
Because the fire department was there early on and their assistance to help us when this when the smoke emitted from the house, and that possibility of another case like Hibiscus where multiple homes are going up in smoke or on fire. And so we're thankful for the Honolulu Fire Department being there.
And again, thankfully, none of the officers got hurt or killed during today's incident.